Hey guys, and welcome to this session of Viva Talks. Today we got Alexander Schulz from Reeperbahn Festival in Germany with us. And as it is one of the biggest showcase festivals in Europe, it will be very interesting to hear about their plans for this year's edition happening in September, which is quite soon considering the situation with the COVID-19. So without further ado, let's just get into it. To just start things off, it would be great if you could just present yourself, who you are and what you do with the festival.
Yeah, hi everybody. My name is Alex Schulz. I'm the founder and CEO of Reeperbahn Festival, which is a music business platform and festival as well in Hamburg, Germany. And it usually takes place in mid of September. This year it's September 16 till 19. And it's the 15th edition, I guess, we are planning right now.
Everything is much weirder now than former years. So can you talk us through a bit like the current status in Germany regarding the live music scene? What is open, what is closed? How does it work at the moment?
Everything is closed right now. Every venue is closed right now. And the federal government said events larger than 1,000 people are not allowed to take place at least until August 31. Smaller than 1,000 people in the audience are not allowed to take place at least until June 30. There have already been some Bundesländer like Berlin. Berlin and Hamburg are cities and provinces or land at the same time. Berlin has prolonged the or enlarged or whatever the scale for larger events, 1,000 plus, until October 24.
And how would you say that this is? It sounds like a catastrophe. So, but how does it affect the daily work in the business?
They would receive, I guess, in every state, they do receive help for doing nothing, so to say, for their employees. That's from the federal state. And for their business, like a direct help, which you don't have, not a loan, but direct help from the several states, that there's a little variety in the amount of money they would receive, which helps most of them, I would say, until June. It's very important that we get to know either they would prolong the law that says smaller venues have to stay closed until June 30, and or which they are working at in the federal government these days, they have to come up with a new program which does not pay for doing nothing and sending all your employees home and having the bar closed, but we have called it they have to pay for the value gap, for the new value gap for live entertainment.
So this is kind of leading into our next subject on the German cultural support package, which we in Sweden heard a lot about. Is it positive that it was 50 billion euros, which in that case were going out to the whole cultural sector as
the whole culture, for the help, restart help. That's what they do, which they are discussing now for the venues and the theaters and the private theaters.
So the first 50 billion, could everyone apply for it, like artists, venues, promoters, or was it just did Reeperbahn, did you guys apply for it as well?
Yeah, but it's not, I mean, for everything, single one person company or mid-size, I mean, no companies up till 50 employees or 250, I can't remember, could apply. and they did it for the small, very small and smaller companies, not for the very large ones. So yeah, we could apply, and in our case, and we received 25,000 euros, which was good. But the another very important tool is that you can sending everybody home for 50% of the normal work. The other 50% would come from the state. 67 of the other 50%. Yeah. So everybody would receive like 80%, like the normal wage, but working half time. I would say for a company like ours, like a mid-sized company, that's even more interesting than receiving 25,000 euros for these 2 months, because it's much more money that you would not spend when all your employees are out for like 50% of the normal work.
And how many employees do you have at Reeperbahn?
45 or 47, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Do you know if even the smaller artists, like not selling 500 tickets to every show they play, were they also allowed to get a share of the money from the first package?
Yeah, the small and smaller companies have received, as far as I'm informed, 9,000 euros, and everybody who is a solo single worker up to companies would have up to 10 employees, would receive 9,000, and 10 and more up to, I guess, 50 or 250, I'm not quite sure, would receive 25,000 euros in the cultural sector. So, and that was given for, which is not so much, it was given for 3 months until June 30. And that's why they now make their mind up, should we enlarge this help packages, or should we spend maybe even more money, but into something which makes a restart possible, because then we don't have to pay help for doing nothing.
So with all of this moving into the Reeperbahn Festival, then you recently released a statement about this year's festival, how you're going to continue the work, and can you just talk us through it? Like, what's the status with the festival, and is it possible? Is it not possible to do it? And what will change this year?
Well, yeah, we released a statement which says we are starting to plan a pandemic version of the event, and what we know already, and of course everybody starts working now, especially the people in the production, and checking all the venues and what's it going to be like if you do respect all these distance rules and hygienic rules and things like that. We did a calculation before checking out every single venue, and we were asking the government to support us if we would set up a pandemic Reeperbahn Festival, which respects all these rules. And on last Friday, they told us that they would support us, not as much as we wanted, but in a way which helps us and is enough to start this kind of edition. That's why we put out the statement. Within these 4 days of Reeperbahn Festival this year, we do cover, that was our aim, the value gap in every venue. So we rent these venues, all of them, and we pay off everybody, artists, technicians, doormen, everybody, as if it was a normal edition, as if we had 100% capacity, because we applied for this public money and they gave it to us. So everybody can, the audience, the music business, the artists, the venues, everybody, the media can check out what it's going to be like. Yeah, we do expect 4,500 or 5,000 people in the audience, visitors every day, instead of like 15 or 17,000 every day. That's the economic aspect and maybe the atmospheric aspect. On the content side, we do expect much more artists from especially continental Europe and Germany in normal years. Yeah, there has already been cancellations or from delegations from Korea and New Zealand and Australia. They all have already cancelled or They don't have an official delegation. The USA is complicated. Canada is going to be there only for very few people. So it's a very, very different to other years. It's a chance for those artists which we never could show to the audience if they're based in continental Europe, especially in the countries around Germany and in Germany itself, because they can fill these slots now and going to perform a few times. That's the new normal at that point.
Yeah, so you get you were basically able to showcase more let's say local artists from continental Europe than earlier. Yeah, absolutely. The live music sector, if we take it all into account now, and what do you think we can learn from this type of situation? Hopefully we will not experience another pandemic, but we might experience, something maybe not as serious as this one, but still something that can very much affect the industry. And what is the way forward?
I don't know if there's, as you rightly said, if something similar would affect us. We don't know really what it is. So I don't know if we can talk about are we thinking about insurances or things like that in the structure we have, or are we thinking about different structures in the live music at all? Maybe it's the second point, because what we learned as we started planning our event in September was how important it is to have a small and smaller structure of companies on the promoter side. Why? Because what we are dealing now with much more than in normal years is not companies like Live Nation and others, but it's the local promoters. And it's the smaller companies, and these companies which are offering us acts we've honestly never, or only a little bit heard before, which we never would have respected in normal years. Because first of all, there's the big companies bringing in their artists and maybe one or two talents in the back. So what we really need now, and maybe we have to have an eye on them, is the smaller and very small and mid-sized promoting companies, which are based and working local, because they're the ones right now to fill up our program. They can be fast, they can move very fast, they are flexible, and could help us.
Yeah, so some sort of support your local music scene vibe. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. That's it for this time, and we wish Reeperbahn Festival the best of luck. And don't forget to follow us on social media, subscribe to YouTube, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. And see you next time. Thank you.